Hi everyone who watches my channel, all 5 of you. I hope it's 5. I think actually it was 4 the last time I looked. But slow and steady. That's how you win the race, right? I started this channel, which is called Aliens Love Animals. I got the name first because I do feel like an alien, because everything bothers me in this planet and this world. And I love animals. And I vent a lot, and I get aggravated, and I like to share. So today I'm going to combine 2 topics that I thought would be separate videos, but I'm going to combine them because both have to do with Jack, my new rescue that I brought into my rescue, which is called Annie's Rescue Ride. So let's start at the beginning and let's start bashing shelters who don't do the right thing. I will exempt rescues who are not funded very well, or animal control. They're out in the middle of nowhere. They don't have funding. They don't have staff. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about shelters who are well funded. They have a staff, and supposedly they have the training. This is Jack's story. I was looking for a cat to take into my rescue, and I happened to go through the kennels and saw Jack sitting in a kennel that was filthy. The ground was basically dirt. It was dirt. There were feces everywhere. To me, it was cold out. He had no sweater, and he looked emaciated. For the life of me, I could not get anyone in that shelter to tell me his history. They all had a different story. Nothing made sense. First, they said he was blind, and they said he wasn't blind. So anyways, long story short, I took him into my rescue. I got blood work. Thankfully, he's healthy. But after reading the record from the shelter, I saw that since he was brought into the shelter in October when his owner surrendered him, which, by the way, his owner was terminally ill. The owner passed 2 months later, unfortunately. Since the time he was brought into the shelter in October until I got him in very late January, he had lost 30% of his body weight. Not only that, his nails were grotesquely overgrown, and he smelled really bad. I don't know what's going on in that shelter, but there's only 2 reasons why you would let this dog get so skinny and so out of control in his grooming and his health. A, you didn't notice, or B, you didn't care. Neither choice is a good one. It doesn't explain anything. I don't know if they don't care. I don't know how they could know. I saw this dog from 30 feet away, how skinny he was. When you have funding and you have a staff and you can't do the minimum care for these animals, you really need to find another profession. I take in my rescue 1/10 of what this shelter takes in. And I'm a one-woman show. And I was able to get funding, thank you, Dr. Z, to get him looked at, Jack, get him bathed, get his nails done. And I also potentially found him a home within 2 weeks of having him. This dog was sitting there for 3.5 months. I have yet to see him networked on Facebook from that shelter. I have yet to see this dog on their website up for adoption. How are animals supposed to get adopted if you don't network them? So, yeah, shelters, you got to do better than this. And I'm not talking about I'm a know-it-all. Not. I know basic care, though. I've worked in many shelters, and it's always the same frickin' story. We've always done it this way. Well, if you choose to be stupid, that's your problem. But don't let the animals suffer because of it. Period. The second rant is when I got this dog veterinary care, I went to, a clinic that had really high ratings on Google and paid a hefty sum to get him examined. Now, granted, I am a veterinary technician, so I know what I'm looking for, but even if you didn't know what you were looking for, you know this exam was crap. She never looked in his mouth. She never looked down his ears. She never looked at his eyes. She didn't check his patellas. She didn't do a rectal exam. She didn't palpate his abdomen. She didn't check for lymph nodes. I really couldn't believe what I was seeing. I didn't say anything because then you become the troublemaker. But to add insult to injury, I thought at least in her notes, which I had sent to me, maybe she would have written not done, unable to do, NA, whatever. This person had the nerve to write down that she did look in the ears, that she did look at the eyes, she did check the lymph nodes. No, you did not. You want to know why? Because I have my own otoscope and I looked down this dog's ears and they were filled with crap. I looked inside this dog's eyes and he has age-related changes in his lenses. I looked at this dog's weight and saw that he had severe muscle wasting, and you said he had no muscle wasting. Oh my God, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I am not saying everyone has to be perfect. I have made some really stupid mistakes as a vet tech and as a person. It's devastating. You want to beat yourself up, but what I do is I own it. It's painful when I'm told I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, my defenses get up, but if that person's right, I change my methods, my behavior, my skill level, whatever it is. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking you, the shelter and veterinarians, can you at least do the basics, please? And if I complain about it, don't call me a difficult client, because that's what I've been called when I just asked for, hey, can you do a rectal exam, please? Can you look inside the dog's eyes? Can you tell me if the dog has cataracts? I've been doing this for 40 years. It's like at least being a vet tech. I've been doing rescue now for about 15, 20. I have seen such a steady decline that it's beyond disturbing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to fix it. Again, I think some people choose to be stupid. Ignorant is different than stupid. Ignorant is just a lack of knowledge, education. You can no longer be ignorant if you choose to be. I don't understand people who choose to be stupid, because that just means you don't want to learn and you don't want to change. So, taking a deep breath here because I'm getting really worked up. The happy ending is I think I have a really great home for Jack. Say hi, Jack. He's very tired. And, yeah, so happy ending for all, but I don't think this is the end of my ranting of shelters and shelter workers and some veterinarians. Again, not all. There's some people out there doing some amazing work. I get it, and I know how hard it is to be a veterinarian and a vet tech. But come on, people. You got to do better. You just got to do better. Peace out.